there is the reason why Madrid one of the best teams in history of the Champions League, and sometimes you get to understand the people who they always say they will never write off Real Madrid, especially when it comes to the Champions League, because competition only at times and especially Madrid will struggle. They seem to find ways to get a job done. And then they went away to Atalanta Bergamo, a place where Atalanta ain't lose any game this season in the UEFA Champions League. And in fact, the number of goals conceded both in the Italian Serie A and in the Champions League, just few. So then the thing is that Madrid coming there, Madrid himself, Madrid also on the league table in terms of the Champions League, baby, I'm more than it. And then they know that they need results. And in the quest of finding results, it was in a dreaded place like Atalanta Bergamo. How are Madrid going to get some results? And how are they going to play our match? And really, after the match, winning by 3 goals to 2. Yes, that final ball, a Coco Car, Brantier friend Matteo Retegui 9 anchor, a Coco share should have been a different story because in Madrid in your match, it changes the full complexion. They will still have been in a precarious situation. But then getting a win gives them some sort of a breathing space because some more home games that they have to play. But where they are right now, Sabo and Matteo Retegui it puts Madrid in a very, very comfortable position in terms of getting the results that they want to get, and what's essentially qualifying out of the group stage. And so what's here and slot Liverpool manager also being on top of the Champions League table if they don't win the title. And that's the only Madrid didn't come as small catch on so be on top of the Champions League table, but whatever football. Say knockout stages need to no more share Bayern, no more share Barca, no more share other teams, no more qualify movie through, no more Kokojia. And you will not be remembered for being on top of the group stage competition. So they needed to get some amount of points and then they got it. I see a Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, you're new to the channel there, then subscribe to the channel and turn your notification. I say we give you the best in terms of football analysis, tactical, post-match analysis, pre-match analysis, on-the-foot analysis, almost everything with football here. And then you out the best of it. You don't get it any better from anywhere apart from us on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Don't subscribe and subscribe to the channel, not turn your notification. Notification turn make sure we choose all. They be make one say very imperative. So we choose all. Send about anytime your content ever drop piano. We are first to have it. Miss show, show. So I share content na my on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. See, let us get to it. And then matches and I won in the UEFA Champions League, were not straightforward games, sir. But certain matches were there that was supposed to be matches, sir. We knew that they were going to be difficult for certain teams. Madrid echo away to go and play at Bergamo to go and play against Atalanta. Inter Elusu on first game against my friend Bayer Leverkusen by a goal to 0. Atalanta Etnefi with Madrid. Girona ball with team my friend Liverpool. Dynamo Zagreb any Celtic and a boy. Club Brugge any team my friend Sporting CP. RB Leipzig and Aston Villa. Villa winning by 3 goals to 2. For Paris Saint-Germain, it was a game that they needed to win by 3 goals to 0 against your friend RB Salzburg. And then, of course, Shakhtar Donetsk and FC Bayern Munich. Let's start with the Bayern Munich conversation. On the Champions League table, baby and teams down. Bayern Munich knew that they had gotten a last win against Benfica, but also gotten some draws. Not so good favorable results. This is a match where they had to win. It was a match where they really had to impose themselves in the game and then find ways to win match. How are they going to win the match? How are they going to play to the extent, say, especially when Omoba against teams best Benfica, they struggled to really dominate the game. Of course, Vincent Kompany went into the game with a regular Bayern Munich team, of course, in field forum, seeing Brantier Lefreno, Alessandro Pavlovic in the middle of the pack to really control the game over field forum. And then, of course, up top, the likes of the Royce Sané who came on at some point in time. And there was Conrad Laimer who got a equalizer. When team my friend Shakhtar Donetsk who scored the first goal, opened up the scoring over there for team your friend Shakhtar Donetsk. And then Vincent Kompany knew, so they needed to get the results. They needed to win and then away. So they in the conversation of the Champions League, they'll get a good place in there. If you go back to the league right now, so how we know I'm on 8th position. 8th position. It means that say in the league and this is here, league facing and this is here, automatic qualifications now. Team your friend, Bayern Munich are going to be able to qualify automatically from the German Bundesliga in this area. Normal qualifier, but something that looks to be something good for them because Oshe Bayern Munich now in terms of the Champions League, the team that's supposed to be qualified automatically. If he will be intimidation, and then they needed to win against a certain, Shakhtar Donetsk team. I struggle. To play in games in Europe with everything that's happening in the country. We knew it was going to be a game. Team my friend FC Bayern Munich team. But the big one was Real Madrid. Madrid are all away against Bergamo. Madrid are before some match, baby, or that in the league phase table. Not any. Madrid are on himself when you have a lot of injuries. It is all starting to shake games. So when team starting to shake games, or struggle to get. With respect to the number of wins, any point of bet to be able to qualify. And of course, if you look at Real Madrid, the bigger picture, I say Madrid should be able to qualify on scratch. As in, as a qualifier, there will be no issues of there's going to be a playoff in Sunday man. So it was huge. But Madrid came into this game with a lot of injury issues. Still, Menetao not there. Abrantia from Raul Asensio in the game against Liverpool, there were some issues, but they had to rechange Abrantia, your friend Raul Asensio, to come in and then come and play. That was a match, but in the second half, it almost started with Abrantia friend Aurelien Tchouameni or Chorum with Antonio Rudiger, then Abrantia friend Fran Garcia, and Abrantia friend Lucas Vasquez making the front three, the front four, the back four, sorry. And of course, in the middle of the pack, Madrid went into a 4-1-2-1-2. Federico Valverde, Fiifi-Manfred, added Jude Bellingham over there so that they will get enough numbers in the middle of the pack to control the ball on and off the ball and also have enough aggression to deal with the game after. Of course, Vinicius Jr. returned with a better friend, Kylian Mbappe. And I think that in the beginning of the game, pre-match analysis, one of the things that we did focus on saying Atalanta for one more man for man pressing, they were without the ball, we are very aggressive to win the ball back. Then it's all build up for make sure they come in man for man and make sure that they win the ball back from you. It was good. In fact, by the time I'm Madrid for a brilliant goal from my brighter friend Kylian Mbappe. And that was classic Kylian Mbappe, vintage Kylian Mbappe. Ball was split into his path. First touch creates the excellent separation between Ono and our brighter friend Martin de Roon. Takes the ball away from de Roon. And then excellent striker goal. That's Mbappe that we know, direct, straightforward, with a finesse now. That's what Kylian Mbappe gives to team of friend Real Madrid. And by the time Madrid scored the first goal, yes, you could tell that not Bergamo for no Atalanta for no trying to get into the game and see. You need to give Abrantia, your friend Ademola Lookman, a lot of credit, regardless of the fact. So where Madrid, new Atalanta, wherever you come from. You really need to give Abrantia, your friend Ademola Lookman, a lot of credit over there. Now look at the game that he did play. Almost every tap from Ademola Lookman looks like he's able to create that separation. Then the pause had to stop the game and then process and get space for himself. The first touch, excellent. It's literally getting you out of your feet, and that is the boy. Excellent in Ademola Lookman. And if you hear the story about Ademola Lookman, it's shocking. He was playing non-league football in England. And then it went to Everton. You do Everton. Of course, when you're born, you're born in Cumin, so much now. Barca, Everton, any Pep Guardiola, Man City boy, the first game. Pep Guardiola, you see 4 goals to 0 English Premier League game. He was in there. It didn't work for him. Had to go to Fulham. Had to travel all over the world. And now Ademola Lookman, I am one of the best players that he gets in the conversation of football in Europe and even in the world. And that's exactly what he's doing. He was excellent from team friend Atalanta for him. They kept on pushing. After some Madrid share goal, I think the Atalanta really got a foothold of the game. They dominated it by pressing, counter-pressing, doing number 1v1. And Adeba Kwame counterpoint and said, man for man, that team's the person more pressing. The most important thing with it is that when you go man for man, when you press man for man, when you're more aggressive in your man for man, what it gives you is that you now show your aggressive nature. To me, we need the ball very high. Then you turn the possession over. It was with this the winning ball essentially. Said Kolasinac got the ball in the box, took the first control. Of course, unfortunately, then he got a penalty himself, went on and then slot the penalty in there by Branche friend Charles de Catalare. Excellent player by all standard. Then in the second half, Atalanta for Nankasa own on doing. A ball is being played out from the back. Then of course Vinicius Jr. pounces on it, and like the Madrid attackers now. Some win a chance we say they don't need 2, they don't need 3. That is why Madrid are who they are. Once they get a first few chances on a good day, they will bury it and then they will they will hurt you. They will let you know, say, I'm going to Real Madrid, I'm going to be the perennial winners of the Champions League. I'm going to be the constant favorites of the Champions League. I'm going to see a Champions League in Common. And on any day when you need Madrid to spring up and then bring forth a performance, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr, Jude Bellingham were excellent. And now, again, talking about the man-for-man press for Atalanta, the difficulty, the disadvantage of the man-for-man press is when you isolate your players 1-for-1 and I say 1v1. The bigger question you now have to solve is the qualitative superiority. Do you have the qualitative superiority? Do you have the ability for your players to win 1v1 duels? And that's why for teams like Atalanta, when they need the best of players in terms of talent, they use it with aggression. They want it more. They want to be aggressive. They want to try and win the ball from you. Then they can do something, turn the ball over, and then win balls. It's something that Atlanta wanted to do. But also at Jude Bellingham ball, when it was played long to Jude Bellingham, only a branch friend Matthias the room was not as aggressive as he had to be on the day. He was switched off at one point in time. Jude Bellingham controlled the ball, cuts in onto his left foot, slots it, and then that's the goal. And when really, so what's your Madrid team now? It is the reason why a lot of the times in the knockout stage of the Champions League, almost your team or dominating ball now, they're able to beat them because you press 1v1. There are going to be spaces in the channel. Who the channel space in the tournament? Bellingham will run the channel. Vinicius Jr. will run the channel. Rodrigo goes to run the channel. Mbappe, who can run those channels? And once they isolate with fullbacks or wingers or centre backs, 1v1, only a few centre backs, only a few fullbacks who can deal with Vinicius, Jude Bellingham. I mean, Jude Bellingham is obviously an aggressive compound. He still have the athleticism to deal with you in terms of aggressiveness. If you want to combat, he's good in terms of the athleticism, the physical ability, and the combativeness to deal with you. It's an advantage, and it was a risk reward for Gianpiero Gasperini. Again, another game where his team plays well, but they don't get the better of Real Madrid. Like I said this morning in that game against in a Super Cup, I felt Atlanta would get something from it. I believe Atlanta could get something out of this game. But then you go into the game, you watch the in-game analysis, and you realize that it comes down to the superiority, the qualitative superiority, and that's something that Madrid outrightly have over Tima, your friend Atalanta. You were able to get that one. Of course, as the game went on, that goal from our brand friend Ademola Lookman. See, whatever they did to Vinicius Jr. at the Ballon d'Or level, and my African funny your imagine somebody be our brand friend Ademola Lookman. He is outrightly the African footballer of the year. And yet undisputed. They need to give the boy, his trophy. Look at that goal on the silver left foot. Opens his body as if he's going to the far post, then slots it into Courtois' first goal. You just cannot. These are things you don't teach on the training ground. The player have to have some quality, to be able to play balls like this, and then gets the results that your friend Ademola Lookman was able to get for team and friend Atalanta, and I think that they deserved it. As the game did wear on, they got a few chances, but that team now break until another Ademola Lookman ball on the far side, dribbling a Brent friend Raul Asensio, taking him to the byline and cutting the ball with a lot of power across the face of the ball. It just needed a redirection of the feet. But a Brent friend Matteo Retegui, who consistently this season in the Italian Serie A, I say Atalanta Beshe Godia, the Matteo Retegui is going to be in there. He could not control that ball into the back of the net, and Madrid in here saw 3 points. Of course, the Kylian Mbappe goal means that he's the second player in those number of games to have reached fastest after Messi 50 goals or Champions League in them, and that tells you the kind of player Brentford friend Kylian Mbappe here. His quality across everything that you want to talk about. Mbappe top notch. You give him a lot of credit for that. On the side of the Parisiens, he went away to go and play against your friend Salzburg. Also, another game that Paris Saint-Germain needed to win. So won't team share Arsenal, won't team share Bayern, won't team share some of the big teams. And a Salzburg team that's also struggling under Pep like this. What means that you need to make sure you get results. How do you get the results? How do you play to get the results? How do you make sure you impose yourself in games? And we all spoke about the frailties of Luis Enrique, the team, how they played, how things were for them. It wasn't really helping them. How were they going to get a job done? And that's exactly what our brand here, your friend Luis Enrique, got the Paris Saint-Germain team need to do. Gonzalo Ramos, game, team friend Paris Saint-Germain, Nuno Mendes, 2-0, and then of course our brand friend Desiree Doué, 3-0 in the 85th minute. Total dominance from them over there. So in the game, I also away at Germany between Leipzig, any team my friend, team my friend Aston Villa. See, My car same way several times, and I say it again. John Duran was instrumental for team friend Aston Villa on the day. And I said, even before I talk about the John Duran conversation, any how good he is, any Sanya Manema. See, in Chelsea to Samuel Maradion, and I say, come to Abranti friend John Duran, I would have put my hands on my chest and said Chelsea would have been top of the league by now. Did you see that go for Abranti friend Samuel Maradion? Like, say, Bono, it is not a chance. I want to go look at the XG of Samuel Maradion going. It is literally not a chance. Way away from the box. The ball striking ability is so clean like a whistle. And I've said this several times. Center backs, center forwards are or you're bulky or you're aggressive or you're physical or go into duels. And when we in the Champions League, say open hold up a Jimo Betinya, then the finishing is top notch. Mekaipa in that game of Bayern Munich versus Aston Villa. Now, Ochipi ball share a Manoa. And all beside say, Opejani t-shirt keeper nana. And I brought your friend John Duran catch him and say, oh no, one share goalkeeper. Born an echo singer, one share goalkeeper. When Pejani tell him baby, no man no Gina Nasa Debbie. He didn't see all of that. One thing on no any team and say before says our board never consistent. Not the Diamanono Yaba. The Diamanono Yaba. To me, I'm born he knew that he just had to lob it because maybe a goalkeeper and baby. And in this one, it is a similar goal outside of the box. But the ball striking ability is what makes the difference for a branch friend John Duran. Or you're excellent in the box manipulation, the ability to create separation, the hold up play, the ball striking. I mean, what a player. And the last time I was saying it, in comparison with a branch friend Samuel Maradion and the job he's doing at FC Porto, these guys, they are different kind of profiles on the attackers not Chelsea on. The last time at Chelsea ball match, or so creative chance. Only box presence or boxing into a ball crossing and João Pedro to ball cross now. It doesn't get to anybody. The ball now gets declared by the defenders who obviously taller than Chelsea attackers now. But when you have these guys in the box, they manipulate the ball, they make things happen to the ball, they're able to create that separation, they're able to bully people in the box and get a job done. And key, John Duran, and of course Samuel Maradion. And mechanism in Chelsea had this striker Samuel Maradion and answer friend John Duran. They would have been top of the English Premier League. They would have been really competing. You are a little bit careful by saying, oh, we don't know what can happen to Chelsea and it's Sanya Manema. Of course, but for Aston Villa, John Duran and Juma or share goal for them. Of course, a game with a lot of goals, 5 goals. Roy Copenda, they can share goal. Then the next one with John, of course, John making a big game. Then Roy Copenda, I'd say, but also the positioning of Abrantia, your friend, Emiliano Martinez inside goal now. It was so shambolic. Of course, Baumgartner got his goal over as the Abrantia friend Duran and it was Barkley. And when he had 3 goals to 2 for Tima, the friend of Atalanta. Now in one other game I saw. Not in the Leverkusen game. Leverkusen a team are strong. Also playing that 3-back system with Xavi Alonso on his system Niboye. And then you look at the fact say these days when you are talking about when you're talking about one of the best coaches in the world, you talk about Simeone Inzaghi. Now you talk about Simeone Inzaghi, you talk about his 3-back and the fact that it is novel, anyhow the principles are the same but the structures do differ. How center backs to move forward to do a lot of overloading runs and overload central areas. One thing that we spoke about is the fact that throughout the first 5 games are Inter Abono. Their defense have been resolute. They've had the best defense ever Champions League in this season. They've not conceded a single goal. So, Omo teams beat Arsenal, Omo Man City. So, we knew that, okay, yes, that means that they have a solid team. We're going to play against the Bayer Leverkusen side at home at the Bay Arena. It was going to be a tough game. But then we all expect us, okay, Inter Milan can really negotiate something. They can really get something out of San Marche. It is not going to be easy for Tima. Your friend of Atalanta for them to get the results over there. So how are we going to? In fact, we played a game still 0-0 all throughout the game until said Yebobo do the 90th minutes plus and then Nodi Makrele. 1-0 for Tima, your friend of Bayern of Leverkusen. The unbeaten run of Tima, your friend of FC Internazionale Milano, about to an end. And then of course they've also conceded our Champions League game. So they were not going to be the first team to go 6 games our Champions League man concede a single goal. That has been dumped by team your friend of FC Bayern Munich. Of course, obviously, we'll talk about the league standings now for all of them. And then matches no assist stand over there. All home, of course, team my friend FC Bayern Munich. Extra 5-1 goals by Branchia, your friend Conrad Lima, Thomas Simole, Michael Oli's penalty. And then the last goal in the 93rd +1, Jamal Musiala in 87th minute. These boys got a job done for team your friend FC Bayern Munich over there, and they got the all-important win as they had to get in the Champions League, over there. It's an important one for team your friend FC Bayern Munich over there. Of course, these are the games, and they are also over here on the analysis. Of course, and then I'm on the betting scene. So again, Atalanta, we should have gotten just a double chance to give her that 6 odds to come on. Material third game message chance now, but again, I feel it's coming. Trust me, and you don't have to stop now. I mean, how much I will go again. I'm not sleeping tonight. We'll sit up, work with the team, find something for you. That's what I see on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, don't subscribe to the channel now. Make sure subscribe to the channel now and turn on notification. Any notification turn on, make sure we choose you all. When you have more channel, I'll see you. Until then, you take care. Bye bye.